Shalom, Kol Halo Yahweh Bashem Havashai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers that do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, and to the Aquaf that are listening and learning. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And I was actually in the car listening to news radio when I heard this story, because my initial video that I was going to do was going to go in on these Karens and their hate, you know, and how they're being, and his woman is being exposed and shamed. And this is a former TV star, you know, Hollywood guy from that the 70s show, and his name is Daniel Matterson. And it says on Wednesday was charged by Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office with raping 3 women. All right. Let's go down a little bit. And it says the alleged separate incidents occurred between 2001 and 2003. According to authorities, that the 70 show star charged with 3 counts of rape by force or fear. The case was filed for a warrant Tuesday. According to the district attorney's office. Madison was arrested Wednesday 11:30 a.m. According to jail records, his bond was set at $3.3 million. He bonded out at 2:44 p.m. According to jail records. Madison is accused of raping a 23-year-old woman between January and December of 2001. The actor is alleged to have raped a 28-year-old woman in April 2003, and sometime between October and December 2003. According to authorities, the actor is accused of raping the 23-year-old woman who he had invited to his Hollywood Hills home. All right, now, you know, there's a lot of women that come out and say they were raped that weren't. I don't know if it's true or not. But one thing that I do know is that if you're really paying attention to current events and everything that's happening, the hedge is being removed from around Esau. We truly are at the end. You know, you policemen getting fired and being exposed. Heard a cop tell a young Edomite that you know, that it's not worth it to be a cop anymore because it's not like it used to be. Meaning that you could do whatever you wanted to the sons of Jacob, you know, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And there was no repercussion for it. And now, you know, everything is changing. So let's read a couple scriptures, man. This is I'm going to start with that hedge that was put around Esau, all right, you know, through his forefather Cain, because you got to remember, Jacob and Esau, when you understand the scriptures, are Cain and Abel in the reincarnation, and their lots followed them, all right. This is Genesis 4 and 10, and it says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now thou art cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth and received thy brother's blood from thy hand. So Hebrews 12 and 6:16, you know, it clearly tells you that that he sought it, you know, carefully with tears, but there's no repentance for Esau Edom, which this man is a good depiction of Esau. You know, when you read the description of Esau, how the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, you know. That red pale flesh, because you can clearly see that this dude, the background which this is printed on, that big bear, that's white. His flesh is not that color. His flesh is red. This is a red man. This is Esau Edom. All right. The little finger pointed on his neck right now, that's red. His skin, I mean, that's white. His skin is red. All right. But anyway, continue with the reading. It says, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. All right. And Cain said to Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. All right? And it's because that mark was put on him. He was made pale when the whole world was brown. All right? Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And Yahweh said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh set a mark upon Cain, lest any find him should kill him. And so we know what that mark was through reading and understanding in the scriptures. All right, and so Cain was protected, and then that protection was passed on to Esau, Edom. This is why you get in such great trouble if you do anything to them. All right, but it won't be long before this story goes away as swept under the rug, because you have to understand we live in a society where these Edomites rule and run and control the media. And they don't like it when their own is on the front page of the news and on the front page of the paper. So they will quickly replace his face because this came out, what, a day ago? So it won't be long. By this weekend or by Monday, there'll be brown faces to replace his, and his story would just fall to the backside, get put on the back burner somewhere. Well, they'll just profile those faces. All right, and why? Because of this is what they do. This is but I'm going to go to Psalm 73, and I'm going to read verse 5 first, and it reads, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. See, they get away with almost everything. Why? Because of that hedge. But remember, that hedge is now being removed. As a matter of fact, let's go back to Psalms and read it all. Let's go back to that, Psalm 73. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 3, and I'm going to read all the way to verse 9. And it reads, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men. And neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasses about him as a chain. Violence overcometh them as a garment. And they have killed many a Jake. Like I was watching the video of that one Edomite talking about burn a flag, burn a nigger, you know, or burn a black, you know, and that whole sort of thing. These privileged Karens with their hate on display, going back for years now. You know, as a matter of fact, most of the Jakes that were hung or burned were hung and burned behind the lies of a Karen. All right. As a matter of fact, that whole slaughter of Rosewood, the destruction of that town, and the confiscation of all their property and land into the hands of Edomites, was all done because the lie of an Edomite woman in an adulterous affair. And as soon as her lover beat her up, busted her up, she ran out the house screaming, saying it was a nigger. It was a nigger. Typical. On cue, just like Karen did in the park. I'm going to call the police, and I'm going to call 911, and I'm going to tell them that I'm being attacked by a black man, you know, and by an African American. Why? Because what did she want? She wanted them to come rushing in and basically death by police officer or beating by police, which often is the case. All right. But back to the scriptures, just on cue. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression, and they speak loftily. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. So that vibration have been walking through the earth. But guess what? The earth is now rejecting them. They're being rejected. That hedge is being removed from around them. All right? Because even if he gets out of this, the tainting is on him. You know, he's burnt. Hollywood is dead anyway. So they may just let him go down because they really have no use for him anyway. Just like all these people, most of these people aren't going to be returning to work. There's no reason to educate your children anymore. Most people are not going to be going to school anymore. Why? Because it's time for re-education so they can try and bring forth their new order. You know, their new way of life where they're going to assign you to the positions that they want you in, those of you that survive and that aren't put to death. But let's go to the book of Job 21. I'm going to start at verse 6, all right? Because right now, he is losing it. And so what I'm reading right now, this is the past. They don't live like this anymore, man. This was the last of their hurrah. Was right after World War II, the baby boomer age, you know, the 1950s, happy days, you know, leave it to Beaver. All right, when an Edomite male was a god, you know, when he worked a job and his wife was able to stay at home, and she was still committing adultery and all kind of wickedness. All right, but nevertheless, his wife was able to stay at home and maintain a household. They usually had 2 cars, a boat, and the family went on at least 2 vacations every year. Those days are long gone and they're never coming back. It's over. All right, so this is Job 21 and verse 6. Even when I remembered, I am afraid and trembling, taketh hold of my flesh. All right, because Jake is constantly in trouble. Verse 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, they are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of power upon them. Their bull gendereth and faileth not, their cows calveth and casteth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take up timbrel and harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not knowledge of thy ways, because they do everything that's opposite to the Lord. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Lo, their good is not in their hands. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out? How oft cometh their destruction upon them? God distributeth sorrows in his anger. They are as stubble before the wind, and chaff to the storm to carry it away. So their days this is about to come upon them now. All right? Why? Because the Lord is removing that hedge from around Esau. All right? Power layeth up his iniquity for his children, and he rewardeth it unto him, and he shall know it. So as these Edomites begin to pay for their sins, as their society is collapsing and being destroyed, they're going to know, and they're going to know, trust and believe, they're going to know that they're paying for what their forefathers did. And it's well past and overdue. That bill is way past due. All right? His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. So with that, I hope this was edifying. You know, brothers and sisters, family, the elect, the hopeful elect, keep your patience. Stay in prayer. Don't let these people rattle you. You know, it's hard because we're in the flesh sometimes, and we kind of, you know, we get upset, we get angry. But just don't waver. Keep your faith. Keep praying to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Keep following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. And for you brothers who know the curses and the blessings, continue to put them up daily. All right? Until this man be made into stubble. All right? So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers. And Wa Abba Babal. Shalom.